You already started. Rolling.
Hello, I'm Omari Johnson, current North Carolina Central University student and CEO as well as founder of Dreamers Afflictions. Dreamers Afflictions is a clothing brand that is Christian-based and it inspires people to use their pain. Dreamers Afflictions really is for anyone with this story. It is considered a streetwear brand because of the quality of the material and also because of my target audience, which is men and women 22 and under that base their lifestyle around their Christian faith. And so rather than the brand just being something that they support, it's actually going to be fashionable and exclusive. Well, the point is to get it everywhere, starting with the streets. Next slide. So the problem right now is that most brands, they keep their merch minimal and conservative. So through research, I found out that in order to get their target audience to look their way, it should create something that's recognizable, whether it's seen or heard. So for the Christian community, that would be something that they've seen in a Bible verse or maybe in a Christian song. So by staying minimal and conservative, they're in an in-between space because they're keeping their merch not really for anybody in particular, so they're losing out on sales, which means they're losing out on revenue. So my solution is creating products that is easily recognizable, and to get that target audience to look that way, I do things, well, just starting off with the brand name, the Afflictions and Dreamers Afflictions. So Afflictions isn't something that you would normally use in a conversation or that you really see anywhere except for in the Bible. So that's one point I made sure to cover when coming up with this brand. And then moving on into my competitive advantage. So me with a Christian faith myself, I'm already halfway there when it comes to connecting with my desired target audience. And so I put my lifestyle into a message and then added an additional Christian component, whether it's what I was saying before with the Bible verse or song, or in this case with my hoodies, just keeping some text that is plain and makes sense to the Christian community. I included the details of my shirt here and the special notes on the hoodie just to show that my brand truly is quality. And just from this list here, the only thing that's important is to the cotton, make sure the quality is thick but it's soft on you. And then double needle hems and drop shoulders are just the essentials for a streetwear product, was specifically for a shirt. Next slide. So getting into the numbers of the Christian-based clothing market. So you can see here I have my competitors and have athleisure wear and the actual numbers that Christian Apparel is putting up. So I put the first note just to show that I am in a market that's truly profitable. Why I put athleisure wear up here? Well, first, what athleisure wear is, it's really the brands that these pro and college athletes have, and that they're selling out themselves or have some sort of establishment around. But athleisure wear right now is dominating the whole clothing market rather. So it's really up there. It's definitely putting up numbers above Christian clothing. But although this could be seen as a setback, I've noticed that the Christian faith is slowly creeping into athleisure wear, and so instead of trying to form my own lane right here, I could take an avenue of working with some sort of athlete. Can I start over? Instead of trying to create my own lane, I could just find myself in that space where I could be working with athleisure wear, either if it's a specific person or with a actual brand. And then one other thing I wanted to know is that this has already been tried by companies here like Abercrombie & Fitch and Third Wind Performance. Those brands, you might have seen them in the mall or just your local shopping center. And so they were exclusively streetwear at one point, and now they're getting into that athleisure wear space. So I'm not gonna read everything from here, but just how I plan to get my brand going in these next 6 months. The biggest things would be just to get the basics to really expand, which is the website, and getting that social media marketing is probably one of the most important things for me at this point. And then because I want to do actual business, I think hiring the attorney is another smart move. The only merch I plan to sell between now and the end of this year is a t-shirt design, which will be one base design, which is that's my go-to product to just get me off the ground. And I did have 2 hoodie designs, so just hoodies and shirts up until January when it's time to reinvest. And so for how I plan to go about that, I found 2 suppliers. Through research that I found out that these are the best option for me because I'm keeping it local with the shirt, so that's gonna cut down on shipping costs. It's gonna cut down on excessive communication, and it's gonna be able to actually get here the fastest. And so with the bulk order for the jackets, why I did not go with the same company, because these jackets are a bit more complex and not just a simple screen print. So with my team, right now I'm in a space where it's me by myself, but I do recognize that it takes people to expand. I already have a great group of guys around me that are articulate in areas where I lack. And also being a Christian-based brand, I actually have resources such as churches to test run my clothing and make sure it's valid before I bulk order and try to get it out there. So my last slide, which is the use of funds, which is my ask. You can see everything that's on this list, but I'd say the highlights would just be that small business of 20 and the actual bulk order. Everything else is so that I can actually ship. So when it's time to get that bulk order, everything is already ready. But yes, this is my pitch. Thank you.
Good job. Nice. So we got a couple questions for you. You have anything on that?
There was one question that I had that was, can you go back to the third, I want to say it's the third slide. I gotta see it so I can remember the question. I think you actually answered it. So when I saw that athleisure wear can be bringing when they have the revenue, I was going to ask like, okay, well, how do you plan to overcome that? But you answered that honestly when you started talking about how a lot of athletes are now starting to bring their Christian faith into their clothing. So that was actually answered when you kept going, but that was my original question.
So I'm not even sure what athleisure wear is. I've never heard of it. So
Yeah, so athleisure wear, maybe if you heard of pro players like Serena Venus, maybe Stephen Curry from the NBA. The really popular thing right now to do would be like say if a player had like an exclusive shoe, like their own shoe from one of these other brands, just throw their note on it, their own like personal note. Other examples I can think of, it's not really popular with apparel. It's really more with just shoes at this point.
okay.
But it's definitely like, it's not even just like basketball, it's football. If you heard like my cause, my cleats in NFL, that's what I can think of right now. But athleisure wear is really just, it's really considered workout wear, or specifically what the athlete is wearing. So it's not just your average gym shorts and stuff like that. It's actual what the athlete is wearing.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
it's more, also to add on to that, it's like clothes that you go wear out in public, but you can also go work out at any given time.
Gotcha.
That's kind of like a leisure. I've been working like just weird now
So
on the
that's
streets,
the cool sweatpants.
but just know if you want this work on the court, I don't have to change.
Gotcha.
Kind of thing about it like that.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I had another question, but I forgot it. Well, were you going to incorporate athleisure wear into your clothing, or were you, like maybe in the future, since it's such a big market?
Yeah, I was thinking actually to really take my clothes to the athlete instead of trying to change the way I do things. Instead of going from streetwear to athleisure wear, I'm going to keep the streetwear and just put it in the hands of the athlete, is what I was meaning.
Gotcha. Do you have any methods that you will be using to get the clothing to the athletes?
Yeah, right now I haven't thought that far. Right now, all I have is like contact, so I can get to the athlete. So not really like a set method. I just know people.
Okay.
You honestly, that was one of the questions I was going to ask. Because then you had a slide, I think it's like 2 slides from now, about the athletes that you. Okay, one more. Okay, another one. Yeah, the influencers. So are these the contacts that you were just referring to?
Yeah, like
Okay.
Phil Kofer, he already played. He still plays, just not NBA or nothing. And then like Justice Winslow, that's who Derek knows. So I just think like going through people who know people would be that.
So I guess my follow-up question from this would be, once getting into the hands of these athletes, these influencers, then what?
Pretty much just let their platform go to work. Literally, what I had planned was being able to actually like be with them face to face and make a further relationship. Just spend the day like taking their photos or having them wear the outfit and post it on whatever social media platform, and really get it to them in a timely manner. Because some like pretty much like around this time would be when they're doing stuff to get ready for this season, and so I know I'm not just throwing it to them and kind of letting them just handle it whenever, but actually being cognizant of like the time and when they're most around people. So kind of just like working with their calendar and to try to figure out like when's the best time they could wear the merch.
Cool. And I got 2 more questions for you, then I'm gonna let you go. What do you see the turnaround being for you to start being able to make a profit?
So, turn around to start making a profit. I'm trying to think of how I would answer that question. Do you want a time, like, are you asking for how long is it gonna take to make a profit, or like?
How long will it take for your investors to get a return on their investment?
Okay. That is not a question I can answer right now. I think that comes into after I see what works, what's not working. And I think that would take me looking at some numbers in order to really answer that question. But if I had to set a time right now, I wouldn't even want to throw out anything crazy.
Okay. And what would your, ideal marketing strategy be to sell your clothing?
So my ideal marketing strategy, first thing is to get it around that Christian audience, whether it's going to a church or getting wherever they congregate and seeing if they even like it or not. I think the other thing too is social media marketing. That's the biggest thing, whether it's running ads or just being consistent with posting. I know right now I have time on my hands, so actually like working at social media marketing would be what I would go for.
And would you be focused more, I guess, of in-person sales or pop-up shops or
Yeah,
affiliates?
so like
Online?
at first, what was that last part?
Online.
Okay. Yeah, at first, definitely trying to get that in-person presence by pop-up shops and just getting it to whoever I can get it into, who actually wants it. And then after people know about it, I'd say probably like 3 months from when I actually get it out there in the streets is when I would be ready to shift more online. But I'm not very heavy on online just yet. I'd much rather spend all my time trying to get people around the area to get to know my brand.
Cool. Good. Good. Thank you.